You have been losing for a very specific reason, and nobody has told you what it is. Not your strategy. Your strategy is probably fine. Not your work ethic. You likely already outwork most of the people around you. Not your intelligence, not your ambition, not your talent. All of that is intact. What is bleeding you out, quietly, consistently, in ways you have never been taught to notice, is your mouth. You are telling people things, and every single time you do, you are handing a piece of your power to someone who has no obligation to protect it. Epictetus identified this almost 2,000 years ago with a precision that should embarrass an entire industry of modern advice that tells you the opposite. Share your journey. Be vulnerable. Talk about your goals so you're accountable to them. Open up about your struggles so people can support you. Defend yourself when you're criticized so the record is set straight. Epictetus would have looked at every single piece of that advice and called it what it actually is: a slow leak in the hull of your ship. And you have been so busy bailing water that you never stop to ask why the boat keeps filling. Let us start with the first one: exposing your inner life to people who cannot improve it. There is a difference between processing your inner life and broadcasting it, and almost nobody makes that distinction anymore. Processing is private. It happens in your own reflection, in a journal, in conversation with the rare person who has actually earned access to your interior. Broadcasting is different. Broadcasting is handing your unfinished thoughts, your doubts, your half-formed plans, your emotional weather to an audience of people who did not ask for the responsibility and mostly cannot do anything useful with it. Epictetus taught that not everyone has earned the right to know what is happening inside you. This sounds cold to modern ears trained on a culture of relentless openness. It is not cold, it is precise. He was not telling you to be secretive out of shame. He was telling you to be selective out of strategy. Your inner life, your doubts, your fears, your half-built dreams, these are raw material. They are not yet products. They are not yet strong enough to survive contact with people who do not have the investment, the wisdom, or sometimes even the goodwill to handle them with care. Think about what actually happens when you tell most people what you are struggling with. Most of them are not equipped to help you. They were not trained for it. They do not have the standing, the wisdom, or in many cases the actual desire to see you do well. What they have is an opinion, formed in seconds, delivered with confidence, and absorbed by you as though it carries weight it has not earned. You walk into that conversation needing clarity, and you walk out carrying someone else's confusion, someone else's fear, someone else's limited imagination about what is possible, now mixed into your own. This is why you are losing. Not because your instincts are wrong, because you keep handing your instincts to people who are going to dilute them before you have even acted on them. The Epictetan discipline here is simple to state and difficult to practice. Before you share anything from your inner life, ask one question. Can this specific person actually improve what I am carrying, or are they simply going to receive it? If they cannot improve it, if they have no specific wisdom, no specific experience, no specific stake in your success that would make their input valuable, then sharing it is not vulnerability. It is leakage. And leakage, sustained over months and years, drains exactly the energy you need for the work that actually moves you forward. Now the second one, announcing your intentions. This is the one that costs people the most, and they never connect the dots. You decide to build something. You feel the surge of conviction that comes with a real decision. And the very next thing you want to do, almost compulsively, is tell people. Announce it. Make it real by making it known. Tell your friends, your family, your followers, anyone who will listen, that you are going to do this thing. It feels like commitment. It is actually the opposite. There is a documented psychological pattern, and Epictetus understood the mechanism behind it long before anyone had the language of psychology to describe it precisely. When you announce an intention and receive social acknowledgement for it, the brain registers a portion of the satisfaction that completing the actual goal would have produced. You get a small hit of identity confirmation. People treat you for a moment as though you are already the person who has done the thing. And that feeling, that premature taste of arrival, quietly reduces the internal pressure that was supposed to drive you toward actually doing it. You have already gotten paid in social currency for a debt you have not yet earned. And debts that have already been partially paid are notoriously harder to motivate yourself to finish. Epictetus taught that action, not announcement, was the only legitimate form of communication about your intentions. He said that sheep do not bring grass to the shepherd to prove how much they have eaten. They digest the grass and produce wool and milk. Show the inward digestion in your outward results, he said. Not in words demonstrating that you have studied them. You are losing because you keep showing the grass. You keep performing the appetite for transformation instead of quietly digesting it into results. Every time you announce a goal before you have built toward it, you are spending the energy that should have been reserved for the work. Stop telling them what you are going to do. Let them encounter what you have already done. Now the third one. Complaining about misfortune. This is the most seductive of all four, because it feels justified almost every single time. You have real grievances. Real unfairness has happened to you. Real people have wronged you. Real circumstances have disadvantaged you. And the impulse to articulate that unfairness to someone who will validate it feels like basic human need. It is not weakness to want to be heard. But Epictetus drew a sharp line between being heard and complaining, and that line is the difference between processing pain and rehearsing it into permanence. Every time you tell the story of what was done to you, you reinforce the neural and emotional architecture of victimhood. You are not simply describing the event. You are recoding your identity around it, one retelling at a time. And the people listening, even the sympathetic ones, even the ones who genuinely love you, are reinforcing that architecture with you because sympathy feels like support, and most people do not know how to distinguish between supporting you and supporting the story that is keeping you stuck. Epictetus said it more bluntly than almost anything else he taught. He said that it is the act of an ill-instructed man to blame others for his own bad condition. It is the act of one who has begun to be instructed to lay the blame on himself. And it is the act of one whose education is completed neither to blame another nor himself. That third stage, blaming neither another nor yourself, is not numbness. It is mastery. It is the recognition that the energy spent assigning blame, even when the blame is accurate, produces nothing. It does not undo what happened. It does not change your circumstances. It only burns the fuel you needed for the next move. You are losing because every time you complain about the unfairness of your circumstances to someone who cannot change them, you are spending your limited daily reserve of motivation on something that produces zero forward motion. The people chasing success around you, the ones who are actually pulling ahead, are not having an easier time. They are simply not narrating their hardship to an audience. They are absorbing it, extracting what is useful, and converting the rest into fuel that nobody sees because it goes directly into the work. Now the fourth one, defending yourself to critics. This is the one that will cost you the most time, and Epictetus was almost violent in his insistence about it. He believed that the moment you start explaining yourself to someone whose judgment has no actual authority over your life, you have already lost, regardless of whether you win the argument. Think about what defending yourself actually requires. It requires you to stop your forward motion and redirect your attention backward toward a person who has formed an opinion about you, often without full information, often without genuine investment in your well-being, sometimes without even much thought at all. And you are going to pause your actual life, your actual work, your actual trajectory. in order to manage that person's perception. Epictetus asked his students a question that should be tattooed somewhere visible to anyone chasing real success. He asked, "Why do you allow anyone to say anything that disturbs your peace?" He was not asking why people criticize you. People will always criticize you. He was asking why you have given them the authority to disturb something as valuable as your peace, your focus, your time. The people who are winning right now, genuinely winning, building real things, are not winning because nobody criticizes them. They are winning because they have stopped treating criticism from people without standing as something that requires a response. They let inaccurate perceptions exist uncorrected. They let misunderstandings stand. They do not chase down every mischaracterization and correct it because they have done the math. The math says that an hour spent defending your reputation to someone who was never going to be convinced anyway is an hour stolen from the work that actually builds your reputation on terms nobody can argue with. Epictetus put it with brutal simplicity. If someone speaks badly of you, he said, do not defend yourself. Instead, consider whether what they say is true, and if it is, correct yourself. If it is not true, laugh at it. Either way, the conversation is finished before it ever needed your energy. This is the principle. Stop telling them. Stop exposing your inner life to people who cannot improve it. Stop announcing intentions before you have results to show. Stop complaining about misfortune to people who can only sympathize, never solve. Stop defending yourself to critics who were never going to be persuaded. Every one of these 4 habits feels, in the moment, like connection, like authenticity, like the responsible, emotionally healthy thing to do. And in small, careful doses, with the right people, in the right context, some of them genuinely are. But practiced indiscriminately, practiced as a default mode of moving through the world, they are a continuous transfer of your power to people who did not earn it and cannot use it well. Epictetus called the alternative to all of this the discipline of silence. Not silence as suppression, silence as strategic conservation. He taught his students to let their actions speak first and their words speak rarely, and only when speaking actually served a purpose beyond the temporary relief of having spoken. Here is what that looks like in practice. You have a setback. Instead of narrating it to 5 people, you sit with it, extract what it taught you, and apply the lesson the next morning. You form a new ambition. Instead of announcing it, you begin building toward it quietly, and you let the results, when they arrive, do the talking that announcements were trying to do prematurely. Someone criticizes you unfairly. Instead of constructing a defense, you ask whether there is truth in it, take what is useful, and let the rest pass through you without residue. You feel the urge to expose a struggle to someone who is not equipped to help. Instead, you ask who in your life actually has the wisdom or experience to offer something useful, and you take it to them specifically, and you keep it from everyone else. This is not isolation. This is not coldness. This is the construction of a life where your energy moves in one direction, forward, instead of leaking out through a dozen small habits that feel harmless individually and devastating in aggregate. You have been losing not because the world is unfair, though sometimes it is. Not because you lack talent, because you do not. You have been losing because you have been narrating your becoming instead of executing it. Because you have been spending in conversation what should have been spent in construction. Epictetus offers you a different way. Quieter. Harder to perform for an audience because there is no audience involved. But unmistakably, measurably, more powerful. Stop telling them. Start building. And let what you build do every bit of the talking you have been doing for free.